Welcome to our 23rd episode of the Who, What, When, Where, and Why podcast. My name is Kathleen Johnson, and I'm your host today and YMCA Senior Program Director. My guest today is a community member, volunteer, and Kiwanis representative, Brenda Cameron. And, of course, our YMCA CEO, Meagan Shaheen, is back with us again today. She loved it so many times. The last 2 times that she's been here, she's just going to keep coming back. So welcome, ladies. Thanks for coming today. So today's episode is called Playground Adventures. And we're talking today about the new playground that's going in at the YMCA. By proceeds from Kiwanis and lots of other things. But before we get to that, I thought I would ask you some trivia questions about playgrounds just to see if you knew anything about them, right?
Trivia.
So, any idea, ladies, when the first playground was invented?
Only reason I know the answer to this is because we talked yesterday.
Oh, she looked it up. What?
1865 in England is what I found.
That is true. 1865 in England.
Wow.
And then in the United States? Did you go that far?
It's still 1800s, right?
Yep.
Wasn't it like 1869 maybe, or
I think it's like 1885.
Yeah,
so
later.
Manchester, England was the first one that I found. And then in the States, and I believe in Boston, I think, in 1885. Yeah, I have a little, like, a picture. I don't know if that's what that first one was, but the little picture there of... This one has my notes on it, but this one cracks me up because look how high.
Wow, yeah. Back then they had no questions about safety or liability. I can see.
In school, it was pavement underneath the monkey bars and the slides and all of that stuff. It was concrete or pavement.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I got in trouble once when I was in first grade. I know everyone's shocked about that. For throwing a spit wad in a restroom. And I was called down to the principal's office because of that. And my friends were out on the playground. And luckily, Don Willoughby, if you're watching, Don, so sorry that I'm telling the story again, fell from the monkey bars and broke his arm. I was in the waiting room to meet the principal when they brought Don in. And he was crying. And I got off. Very quickly. The principal said, I don't know what you did, but don't ever do it again. And I was like, okay. And he was like, go back to the playground. Because his arm was like, ugh. It was not good. And I was like, shoot.
We survived as children.
Yeah, the playgrounds, I think, put me on the right track. Yes. Right there to a better life. But yeah, I mean, there's so high. Like some of this stuff was incredibly high. And I don't know if what was your favorite thing on the playground?
Monkey bars.
Monkey bars. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We used to like to swing as high as we could and jump off. That was our favorite thing to do.
I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore. I feel like that's against the rules now. Mine were the tires. Like we had tires and tires and tires in a row, and I like to jump from one tire to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, just keep going. I thought that was super fun, but you don't see those on playgrounds anymore either. No. So obviously these things are gone. But so Brenda, tell me a little bit about you. We learned a lot about Meagan last time she was here, but how long you lived in the community and what got you involved in Kiwanis?
Got me, because I've been in the community my whole life. So
okay. Did you graduated
60,
from here?
Yeah. So I've been here for 60 years. I graduated Dover High School in 1981.
Nice.
I've raised 4 children here. Now I have, I think, 4 grandchildren and 1 on the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. What a great community to Meagan and I aren't originally from here, so you're it. You're going to be able to tell us the whole story of Dover while we're here. What got you involved in Kiwanis?
Actually, Aggie Swigert got me involved in Kiwanis. My kids were pretty well grown, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something, give back to the community. And Aggie said, well, I'm involved in Kiwanis. She got me involved in lots of things.
Yes, I bet.
Chestnut Ladies, that's where I just came from.
What was it?
It's a Chestnut Society.
Chestnut Society.
Yes,
I've never heard of that.
It's a ladies group that is part of Kent State main campus.
Okay.
Kent. And then in 1979, I believe, they started the Chestnut Society down here at the Tuscarawas branch. So we are just a group of ladies that support the programs at the Tuscarawas branch.
Nice.
We award $500 scholarships to students that attend Kent. So coming up, we'll be meeting to figure out what those grants are for this coming year. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, so all thanks to Aggie, I got involved in Kiwanis probably 10 years ago.
Great. Great club to be part of. I think when I researched out Kiwanis, I believe there's about 40 members between Dover and New Philadelphia, if you kind of merge the two groups.
That club joined in 2016.
Okay.
Like most clubs, they're older groups and they're diminishing a little bit, so we combined clubs. And last year, 2021, we celebrated our 100th year anniversary of service to the community.
This community?
Clubs, yes.
Okay, both clubs together. Very cool. So how did Kiwanis decide that playgrounds were going to be a thing? Because this isn't the first playground you guys have put together.
No, this is second one. And I think Kiwanis in general, like the Ohio District Kiwanis, the Kiwanis International, that has grown. The whole Kiwanis started in 1915 in Detroit, Michigan, and since then it's in 80 countries and it has really expanded.
Wow.
So our focus is on children. So I think a lot of the other clubs do playgrounds because that hits a lot of children. And
Right.
it's a fun thing for kids to do. So, but as far as us for Dover, New Philadelphia Kiwanis Club, this is our second playground. We got started with this because of our 100th year anniversary.
Okay.
We wanted to do something meaningful to leave kind of like a footprint for maybe another 100 years that somebody will look back and say, oh, this is what Kiwanis did, to celebrate their 100th year anniversary instead of just having a dinner. So,
Right.
So we reached
A
out to
gala.
Dover, and of course the things
Dover
that-
Parks.
Dover Park, Dover
Okay.
Dykesdale Park. Their playground equipment I played on when I was a child. So
It was iconic. It was
50,
iconic.
at
It was
least 50
really
years
cool.
old. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
actually still there.
Okay.
They didn't take it out because I guess since then there's a lot of water lines and electric lines and things like that. So we had to
Okay.
move away from that. So we did a small playground close to where they start the frisbee golf.
Oh, okay.
Up there.
Okay. Great.
So
And that one was completed last year.
that was completed in 2021.
2021. Okay.
Then we reached out to New Philly because we wanted to do something over New Philly Kiwanis, so we went to do
Sure.
something in New Philadelphia. And in our community needs research of the area, we found that the YMCA did not have a playground. Although you're not technically in New Philly, you are Tuscarawas County. So,
We can put our toe in New Philadelphia.
So we thought that would encompass a lot of children.
Yeah.
With all of the programs that you have at the YMCA, with after-school programs and preschool, and just children
Nice.
being there for the other programs that you have outside in the soccer fields and so on.
Yeah. So you started with Tiffany Fox. Now you're working with Meagan. So Meagan, what excited you about the project when you heard about it? Like, we're like, oh, we're getting a playground.
Yeah, it was. I think that was one of the first tidbits of information that was given to me was we were getting a playground. So that's always good news, right? Whenever another organization goes out of their way to fundraise so that they can bring something to the community through your organization, I think that's really special.
Yeah. And so where's the WISE partnership in this? How does that all work when it comes right down to it?
Well,
then we're going to mow the grass around it, right?
Yeah, I was going to say they've done a lot of the hard work, really. From here out, it's just, developing a good plan for how it's going to be used and how it'll be maintained over the years, and just making sure that it gets good use.
Yeah, because you can't just put it up there. Like, there's got to be a plan for all of this. How long does a project like that take? Like, what do you...
Oh my goodness. I actually thought, okay, so let's start with this. The fundraising part of it has been the most challenging and the longest. I think we've been raising funds for a year and a half.
Wow.
And that came because we had to kind of revamp our project just a little bit. We did not know that we had to meet the state of Ohio regulations for preschools.
Oh, right.
They can only be on a 2 to 5 year old playground, not the 5 to 12 year old playground that we'd planned to put in. So to
years of
accommodate-
age is what she's talking about,
Years
not-
of age, 2
not
to 5
length of
year
the-
old,
okay.
children's age. Yes.
Yeah.
So it became a bigger project.
Right.
And so we are very, very close. I mean, just really close.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the money. How much is this project costing, and how far off are you from your goal?
Okay, so the total project cost just for the playground is $173,945.
Wow.
We just got another $10,000 grant over the weekend. I got contacted, so
Nice.
we are within 8,000 of that total goal.
Wow.
And I have a couple pending. So
Okay. And so how, if somebody was watching, how would they contact you to give you money?
they can contact me at 330-340-1235 is a cell phone number. If they want to donate directly, you can write a check to Ohio District Kiwanis.
Okay.
And that can be mailed to Post Office Box 103, New Philadelphia, Ohio, 44663.
Okay.
That will be tax deductible, and all proceeds 100% go to the playground.
Great. And we'll have Josh, our podcast guy, put all that up on the podcast so that you can get that information and be able to mail that out. But Meagan, what if they came to you?
I would direct them to Brenda and have them do what she just said, give that through Kiwanis. And then of course it's coming right to the YMCA.
Yeah. So what I researched out as well is kind of trying to find out why Kiwanis might have gone to playgrounds for kids. What do kids learn on the playground? And what I found out was kind of interesting that, it's not just large motor skills and activity and fitness that you're thinking about on a playground, but they actually, kids will learn confidence, self-esteem, resilience on a playground, interaction with other kids, social skills, independence, curiosity, which always made me so nervous with both of my kids on the playground equipment over at both Tuscarawas and Dover Parks when they were growing up, and then just coping with challenging situations. It's amazing to me, and all this information came from the Little Tykes website, just of why you would put a swing set or why you would take your kids to a playground to actually help them really learn about their cognitive development and just really get them to become these great kids. I mean, you read that story about, everything I needed to know about life I learned in kindergarten. That's not, it's pretty true, not too far off with playgrounds and how much they do for our kids. So, and just, being outside and playing, I think is just such an important thing.
This playground also is designed for handicapped children and children with autism and other disabilities. There's like sensory things that help them develop their skills, and little places you can crawl into and crawl through and peek out and just kind of see things from afar and take assessment of what's happening out there. And so we're very happy with that. We got a very large donation from the Rainbow Connection to put in that turf. We'll make it very accessible for most kids with any handicap that want to play on that playground. Mm-hmm. And you are putting in a sidewalk that goes directly from the existing sidewalk right to the playground too. So it'll be very accessible.
Awesome. Meagan, tell our listeners where this playground is located at the Y.
It is located nearest the Wellness Center. So if you come for 24/7 access and you're looking at the front of the building, it'll be directly to the right of the Wellness Center off of Monroe Street.
Off the Monroe Street side. And some questions have come up with people as we're posting this to Facebook, showing people of whether it'll be accessible to the community. And so can you talk about that?
Yes, I always say it's complicated.
It's complicated.
It'll be used for our school-age childcare and preschool. So those are licensed programs. I think Brenda mentioned that a little bit. So we have to have the playground inspected and approved on a yearly basis. And then whenever we have kids that are in licensed care on the playground, no one else is able to use the playground. That's just a rule of licensing. So when that's in use by our kids in childcare, it won't be available for use for the public, but it will be available when it's not being used by Y programming to the public. So Brenda had mentioned, whenever families come for soccer games or, T-ball or whatever outside, it'll be available for anybody to go out there and use.
Yeah. Brenda, can you tell us a few of the donors that are on your list? Or if you need it, I have it. But
you printed them all out?
I did print it all out.
Well,
so I'll let you.
Rainbow Connection
Rainbow
was
Connection.
a large donor. have to run through them. It's been so long.
Do you want me to take over?
Yes,
I can take over.
please.
So the Rainbow Connection, Hugh Fraser Fund, Greenwalt Fund, Dover, New Philadelphia, Kiwanis Club, obviously, the Moomaw Foundation, Great All, Dover Chemical, Grace Lutheran Church of Dover, Provia, the YMCA, the City of Dover, and then you have private donors, and then you just said you just
donors,
had a new one as well. There's probably more
Yes.
to this list.
Tuscarawas County Community Foundation just approved a grant.
Great. So you've gotten into grant writing
Yes.
too. Like that's been new
I
for you,
have.
right?
I did a little bit of that years back, but not very much. But yeah, quite a bit most recently.
So what have you learned most about this project? And what's your next goal?
What I've learned most is we have a very, very generous community.
Yeah.
Which is something any fundraising project I've ever been involved in, I'm just amazed at the generosity of just individual people, local business, the foundations, just very, very supportive.
Yeah, it's a great community.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then what's next for Kiwanis after this one?
I don't know. We'll have to. We need to discuss this as a board and see what our next signature project will be.
I did give them some ideas for some other things. We have a lot of space at the Y. I said, wouldn't that be great if we had a splash pad? And
Big dreams with.
And yes, the
we'll have
playground
to do
company is thrilled to hear that.
Yeah. Yes. Additions.
Yes.
So this is something that could be added onto. Is that kind of how that works? That if you're interested in donating more money, everything can be added onto.
anything can be done with more money.
Yes, absolutely. So one final question for you. What are some other, I know you said that you're involved in a lot of things and Aggie got you involved in a lot of things, but what are some of the other things you're passionate about here in the community?
Anything involving kids and ways to make the community better. Other programs, let's say through Kiwanis yet. Most recently, we recognized the children at Dover, New Philly, and Central Catholic who achieved a 4.0 academic excellence.
Nice.
So we have awards for them. So we recently just got all that delivered to each high school, actually on Friday. Some part of that. Kiwanis also does a high school scholarship program for kids moving on to college, $500 scholarship. We just awarded 29 $500 scholarships,
Wow.
which are renewable for the 4 years that they attend college.
That's amazing.
So there's some really big things, and I think I'm really proud of Kiwanis for what we do in that regard to help kids through college. Other things I'm involved in, I'm part of the Chestnut Ladies, which we just talked about, and that goes to support anything out at the Tusk campus. I've been on the advisory board with Case Western. They have a research institute for children's health. A good friend of mine, Mitch Drum, PhD director up there in the lab, doing lots of research with cystic fibrosis and lots of childhood rare diseases that come in. They do a lot of research on medications and different ways to help those kids. So we, as far as a group, have partnered to do things on a more of a fundraising level, a lower fundraising level to help fund that. And that's immediate money that they can use to fund those projects to help kids that are suffering. So I've been on that for probably 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I also am treasurer of the Tuscarawas County Beekeepers. So,
The beekeepers,
Yeah.
like bumblebees,
Yeah,
like
honeybees.
honeybees.
No, honeybees, yeah.
That's
So my husband and I have about
that's
50
scary.
honeybee hives right
How
now.
many?
50.
50.
Yeah, and we probably produce about 1,200 pounds of honey a year. A lot of that goes to
Wow.
a few of the local breweries that make honey. I've grown a few coffee shops. I have honey up at the...
Do you get in the suit and everything?
do.
Do you really?
We do. That's my project for this
That's
afternoon.
impressive.
I go check in on the hives.
Yeah.
And we also raise Belgian horses. So that's everything I do in my free time.
Oh my gosh,
And
Brenda, you're so
from little
busy.
bees to big horses.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you been a horse lover for a long
I've
time?
loved horses ever since I was little, but
Okay. You didn't happen to first learn to ride at Camp Tippecanoe, did you? We was trying to get a YMCA
Yeah.
thing in there.
from my cousins, we used to ride at their place.
Nice.
And then years later, we had a few riding horses, and then I got out of that, and Jeff Cameron, and we started raising Belgian horses, and we've been doing that. We have 2 new babies and 2 stallions and
Wow.
4 mares. So that all keeps us very busy too.
Absolutely.
That does keep you busy. You said you have 4 children, but Jeff has kids as well. 3 kids there, and so that's a lot of. Do they all ride? Do they come out and ride horses at all? No.
We don't ride the Belgians; they're a little big.
Yeah. What? So I don't know.
What do we do?
Inform
with
me.
them?
Yeah, inform me what we do with a Belgian horse then.
We breed and sell.
Okay.
A lot of the Amish community actually still use them for work in the field.
Oh, nice.
And there's another group of people who
because of the
use them
size.
with cart size. They can do competitions with a wagon and cart.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We breed and sell them.
So how big are they compared to like a Clydesdale?
They're very similar.
Very similar.
They're about
Okay.
2,000 pounds, but Clydesdale, they're all
Wow.
draft horses. Clydesdales,
Gotcha.
Percherons, Belgians, they're all pretty similar.
Who would have thought a playground conversation?
I
would
know.
have two-
Well,
It's a
actually,
mini beast.
Yes.
one of my best friends growing up had horses. They did barrel racing, and so I grew up, riding horses with them, just kind of around their property, and then I would go watch them barrel race and think, you guys are crazy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't want to ride on them slow, let alone that fast around barrels. So
I mean, I had a poster of a horse. That's it. Just poster. I have a deep respect for horses. I stay on the ground, look at them from afar. they have like a really large mouth, and you're very high when you sit on them. And so I'm trying. That's going to be one of my bucket things. So I'm going to get better at that, and so or work on that.
Well, come out and I'll.
Well, I think I'll start with
Introduce
something
you.
a lot smaller. From what you said, probably not going to do that.
You can look from afar.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything else to add? Anything that you brought on? She brought a whole paper for me.
I brought a paper because you gave me all these questions.
I did. I think I covered them all.
You did.
I did. I think I got all of them except for my speed round questions. Yeah,
everybody does the speed round
Everybody
questions.
has to do that because
They'll be fun. They're easy.
They're super easy. But I just wanted to thank you for coming in, and thank Kiwanis for all the work that they've done to get this. If you want to go out and see the playground, it's being installed now. This is a process. Right now, the equipment is still going in. And then, Meagan, give us the rest of do you remember it?
It's complicated. So it goes back to the rules. Everything about it's complicated.
Yes.
So the turf will be installed. So that'll come in the next 2-ish weeks. And then they'll lay posts in for the fence. And then once the turf's in, they'll come back and put the fence around it. So there's a lot of steps in the process that we're learning, definitely.
But it's gone really fast.
Yeah,
When you said
it does.
About how much of a process this is. I mean, the money collecting was the hard part. And once it got here, oh my gosh, it moved so fast.
And the best thing ever
colorful.
was seeing Brenda on the sidewalk looking at the playground and seeing the
mouth
fruits of
hanging
her
open.
labor. It's so rewarding, I'm sure. All the hard work you put in to see
really
it coming
was.
up.
Because surprisingly, there is a lot of, like, you have to pick the colors and you have to...
You guys did an amazing job with picking
that-
colors.
Brenda helped with that too. She's
It
not
was
giving
just
herself enough credit.
It was interesting to me, like, you just don't buy, like, hey, look in the book, that's the playground I want right there. But, like, it's a major ordeal. So we're excited to have one, obviously, at our YMCA, and then also to just watch how Kiwanis starts to unfold this really cool thing in the community. If you want to be part of Kiwanis, certainly get a hold of Brenda, or stop by. Come and attend a meeting. It's on Tuesdays at noon at the Senior Center.
That's correct.
And you'll see Meagan, myself, Brenda. I'm sure you'll see a lot of other faces in the community that you would recognize. But if you want to be part of an organization, certainly Kiwanis would be a great one to start with and to come over and check it out. And they'll get you involved in lots of other things as they did with Brenda. So Brenda, we always close with a little 10 question speed around about you.
Like time? Do you say this?
No. I just speed makes it sound really official. So
know.
I'm like, shoot these questions at you and you have to answer them. No. Last book that you've read.
I read Louise Penny. She writes. This is her 19th book. I think it was called A World of Curiosities.
Is it like a fictional detective kind of thing or something?
Yeah,
kind
it
of.
is.
Ah, okay, cool.
I like mystery.
Me.
All right, good. What's your favorite kind of ice cream or flavor?
Like lots of ice cream, but what comes to mind quickly, quick. Black cherry ice cream from Miller's Creamery.
Yes.
good.
We like to give a shout out to Miller's Creamery, obviously. What song makes you want to get up and dance?
Anything from the 80s.
Good
Of
choice.
course.
Yeah. Good choice.
Why would you listen to anything else? Right? Dog versus cat?
I like them both, but I have a dog and I love him.
Okay. Do you have a secret talent? That will no
Bees.
longer be a secret.
I mean, I think she has tons of them.
That will no longer be a secret. Like, do you play the accordion?
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh.
I can't sing. I wanted to learn to play the harmonica, and my husband laughed hysterically at me.
She has a deep need to want to play the harmonica. So if anybody has that talent and can share those secrets with her, let us know. Favorite TV show?
Right now, we're watching The Diplomat. I know that's not a TV show, but
I just
it's
saw
a
that the other
series on Netflix.
On Netflix.
I really like it. Yeah, Carrie Russell is amazing.
This light likes that. Did you see that? That light. This
I
light
like
is
that show,
flickering
too.
when you say certain things. Okay. Favorite sport?
Football.
Oh, what? Really? See, I know Grant from soccer.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories about Grant, and I'm going to tell this just to embarrass him because hopefully he'll watch it. One day I saw him just go out onto the field, pick a kid up, put him over his shoulder, and haul him off the field to get the game going faster because he was hurt. It was one of his teammates, but it was hilarious. Like he just threw him over his shoulder like it was nothing, and carried this gigantic child off of the field. I was like, just happened here.
Yes, I love football. If I'm doing a sport myself, I love running. For me
Nice.
individually,
She's a runner.
I run my whole life. Yeah.
Oh, I
No.
don't like to run. I mean, I run out of necessity, not because I like it.
Gotta get away.
Yeah. Oh man. Favorite sports team, if you have one.
Browns and the Vikings.
And the
For football.
Vikings. Okay.
Yeah, the Cleveland Guardians.
If she has to.
Yeah.
I
If
don't
it's
know.
not
You didn't
football.
specify sport.
No.
Yeah.
Favorite actor.
Oh.
Or
Clint Eastwood and Kevin Costner.
Nice.
Very good.
Very good. And a talent that you wish you had other than playing the
I wish
harmonica.
I could sing.
Oh, okay.
Not a singer.
You have to, I've decided that you actually have to exercise your vocal cords. So if you think you're not a good singer at the beginning, if you exercise them just like a muscle, you'll get better. So you need to, I'm probably wrong about that. I did not read that on Google.
If you talk to
I
my
have
maps
no
in my
idea.
car, they'd say you're wrong
I'm
because
wrong?
they'd say I've been the same the whole time. But when the music cuts out, when it's telling you a direction, like you have to turn and then you hear yourself, you're like, oh wow, I'm really bad.
When you notice your sunroof is open.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, everyone can hear me do that. All right. Well, we have come to a close. Thanks so much for coming.
Welcome.
I appreciate
Thank you.
both of you guys being here. Megan,
weren't
we'll have
too
to
hard
start
on me.
thinking about what your next appearance is going to be.
Oh wow. I don't
Maybe
know.
it's harmonica
Harmonicas.
night.
Oh, there we go.
bring
We'll
her
practice a
back
bit.
when she's learned her harmonica. All right. So this is our 23rd podcast. It's come to an end. Remember, if you have a Y story or want to be on our podcast, please email me, Kathleen at tuscymca.org. We can't wait to hear from you. Take a moment to check out our website, also at tuscymca.org, and follow us on Facebook, plus share our podcast, if you will. Remember, next time you see a playground, take some time to play. You'll improve your day and your brain.